Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Tuesday evening happy hour with Back to Basics Dog Training. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome to this. This is a free weekly dog training Q&A session that I do each and every Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock. And I also do one every Saturday morning, coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This is where I will answer all your dog training questions. No questions are off limits, be it from techniques to tools to whatever, to help us help your dogs so we can live my dream of having together we can help one dog and one family at a time. If you're watching for the first time or live right now or later on the replay, please put a comment in. Let me know what you're watching, where you're watching from. Gets my motors flowing and creative juices going. When I know I got some interaction going out there. So with that being said, as always, I start off with the topic of the week until I start seeing the comments come in and the questions come in. Then of course I go right over to those as soon as I finish my trend of thought. So this week, hello, Courtney. Can't wait to meet you tomorrow. I'm excited to hopefully, after our evaluation, get this journey of training going, because that's what it is, guys. It's a journey, and journeys are designed to be fun, and that's what training should be. So we start this journey together, and I'm excited to be able to help you. So the topic of this week, and this is based on our last week's conversation, people were asking me to talk about how we can help rescue dogs more than we help them today. And guys, we have a great system in place. We have a lot of rescue groups, a lot of fosters, and these people do everything out of the kindness of their hearts. So, and they're not publicly supported, a lot of them. They do look for donations. So here's my pitch for the day. If you have a favorite rescue group, not-for-profit rescue group, please, if you can, even a couple bucks helps them a long way, to help feed a dog, vet a dog, groom a dog, whatever they need. So if there's a local, rescue group that can use some help, even old blankets, old pillows, things like that, help them out a lot. So let's try to give back to them, because they are trying to do the right thing for these dogs, and it's so important to help them. But my thing is with the rescue groups. Hi, Karen, how are you? Retreat, how are you? It was great meeting you. Yeah, it was great meeting you and Vin the other day, sorry. It's been a whirlwind week for me. I will be touching base with you guys tomorrow. I hope that's okay. I know I said today just got a little out of hand for me. I'm kind of rushing. You can see I'm having a bad hair day. So we're excited that you guys are here, watching. So when these not-for-profit rescue groups take these dogs in, guys, remember, first of all, most of them don't have facilities to bring dogs in. So they look for fosters. And fostering in our world with the animals is so crucial. It's crucial, one, because we're bringing these dogs in from wherever they are, whatever their past situation is, and it is so crucial to the process to getting these dogs, hopefully, to their forever homes. What I ask from the fosters and the ones I worked with up on Long Island when I used to work with some of the rescue groups up there is, the foster is the next stage to get these dogs into their forever homes. And we need to start this journey of training with them. I understand some of these dogs go through some horrible situations. Be whatever. They ran the streets, they had to fight for their food, they were bait dogs, they were this dogs, they were puppy mill dogs, they were whatever it may be. And they do come to us with some issues. And as a human, our first instinct is to want to hold them and hug them and kiss them and make them feel so secure and so loved, that we're actually doing the opposite. And I hate saying it that way, because I know I piss off a lot of people when I say that, but that's okay. What these dogs are looking for is guidance. They need us to guide them, starting the moment they come into our homes, our foster homes. These volunteers that do a wonderful job, and I'm not knocking what they do, but from a training point of view, from the psychology point of view of the dog, they need proper leadership the moment they come into our homes. So as much as we want to hug them and kiss them and smother them and tell them that they're safe and sound, that's really not fulfilling their dog needs and wants. Remember, hugging and kissing a dog is for us. Dogs naturally don't hug and kiss each other as much as we would love to think that they do. Um, but they don't. What they look for from us is proper rules, boundaries, and limitations from day one. So when I've rescued dogs, I've worked with these four rescue dogs. The first thing I do is set very clear rules and boundaries for them. And that, starts with the first thing I do when I get a rescue dog home, and I ask the fosters to do, if there's no other dogs in the property, is I take them on a short walk around the property, and I let them get used to the smells, but it's based on being calm. Because if I'm like, oh my God, look at this, I got the puppy home, yeah, the dog's gonna be reading this energy and get overly excited, and we don't want excitement at this point. We want them to be comfortable. We want them to be calm, because calm is comfort. So after I do the short walk around the property, I bring the dog into the house, and before I would have a rescue dog in my house, I would have their room set up with the crate, safe room for them, quiet room in the house for them, and I bring them right in, and I put them in the crate. And if they're not familiar with the crate, I'll introduce the crate. I'll take the time to do that, of course. And then I let them decompress a little bit before I start inundating them with all these new things that we're going to offer them in our homes. And the last thing I would ever do, and this is going for at least 2 weeks, is invite everybody I know in the world to come over and meet our new furry family member. It's overwhelming to the dog. And that goes for fosters, but that also goes when the dog gets adopted. These are things you guys need to tell the adoptive parents is, please, for at least 2 weeks, don't invite everybody over to come see the dog. Let them bond with their dog. And I think that's such a huge, huge disconnect. We want to show off what we just got. And we have people come over and they flood the dog, and the dog is like, whoa, what the hell? I'm not even sure where I am yet. And look at all these people trying to hug and kiss me and do all this stuff to me. It's overwhelming, and it actually can create a huge, huge problem down the road. But if you base everything on my 4 C's of dog training, which is the calm, confidence, consistency to get control, you will see these foster dogs, these rescue dogs, won't get returned as much. And that's crucial, guys. We don't want these dogs. Once they get through, the rescue group gets them from wherever, the shelters, or the kill shelters, or the police department, wherever rescues get these dogs from. Dog abandoned in a home, and you see these things on Facebook. People move and they leave their dogs and their cats and their animals there, and these rescue groups step up and they help out these dogs. But everything is so new to them. The last thing we want to do is overwhelm them. There's a rule of thumb, and you can Google this all you want. You'll get different time frames, but dogs need time to decompress. They will not show you your true colors, and it could be take anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months. Sometimes I've seen it go a little longer. But the beauty of it is, if you bring them into your homes and you start as fosters, and you carry this on, of course, to the people that are going to adopt the dog with clear rules, boundaries, and limitations, you don't deal with the major explosion of the decompression. It's easier. Structure is so important to our animals that they know where they stand in our human pack and in their pack. Where they stand, they will thrive if you set the structure from day one. And it's hard. You get a puppy and they're so adorable, and you really just want to grab them and squish them and do all that type of stuff. But it's actually really not that good. I'm working with somebody right now. They have a 9 or 10-week-old German Shepherd puppy. And the thing is, I'm telling you now, one of the softest puppies I've ever played with. It is adorable. It's got a really, really good energy, and it's real super smart. And, they're following some of my basic things. So by 9, 10 weeks old, this dog's already got sit pretty much down and down, lay down pretty much done because they're staying consistent on the things they're doing with the dog and they're basing everything on calm. The kids in the house are not their pack mates, they're their pack leaders. So they're not this herding breed dog, which is what a shepherd is not chasing the kids because unless the kids are asking the dog to play, the dog is not making these decisions. So it works out really good because one, it's a shepherd, and shepherds are a very hard-working breed dog that need to be told what to do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they'll be your best friend for the rest of their lives. But they rather have, and this goes to any dog, but shepherds people can vision because they're such a working breed dog that by setting the structure, giving them that structure, that foundation, they will be your best friend for life as long as you give them what they want, which is that structure. Remember, the love and affection is for us. I love my dog. I loved every single dog I've ever had. And they know without me saying it or hugging them or kissing them, they know by my energy because I'm so proud of my dogs for their accomplishments and the journey that we've gone on together. And, you know, I say it all the time. Zoe's a very well balanced dog. I continue, she's going to be 10 years old next month. I continue reinforcing some of her training behaviors that I did 9+ years ago. And she appreciates it, and she gets happy when we go through some of these training things. Like today, yeah, I had a little bit of time, so I did long recall with her. Probably 3/4 of a length of a football field. She sat, she stayed, I called her, she came, and you could see the excitement in her because she felt purpose. And she got all the praise, and I didn't give her treats, but she knew I was so happy with what she just accomplished. You could see her little butt was going all over the place, and it was beautiful to see. And they love when we challenge their brains. So, guys, put in the comments, let me know if this stuff makes sense. Because if we all stick together, I'm going to put this caption up here, which I normally save for later on. I talk to a lot of people about dogs' behaviors and different things about dogs, but truly what I have here, that together we can help one dog and one family at a time, is a lifelong mission of mine. It's a goal of mine that I have not yet accomplished, but I'm going to one day because I'm hoping with people who are watching me today, watching me on Saturdays, are sharing this information with their fellow dog lovers around the country and around the world so we can do this, because dogs are an integral part of my life. Not because of back to basics dog training. Dogs have been an integral part of my life for as long as I can remember. And they've helped me through some of the hardest times. And I've helped them through some of the hardest times because it's a partnership. And that's why I call training a journey, because you go on journeys with people that you want to be with. You don't go on journeys with people you don't want to be around. Hello, Bonnie. We have 2 shepherd puppies at the rescue. One is calm and very well balanced, beautiful. The other is extremely vocal and very reactive, but she is a puppy. Some are calling her aggressive. Ugh, can a puppy be aggressive under socialized? Can a puppy be aggressive? Okay, so let's talk about aggression for a second, guys. To me, aggression is an outcome of an issue that just wasn't properly addressed. In my honest opinion, dogs are not born aggressive. Yes, there are some medical reasons. Yes, there are some dogs with neurological disorders. I'm not saying that. But for the general population of dogs, dogs are not born aggressive. Aggression is an outcome of an issue that just was not properly addressed. So you have a very vocal, reactive puppy. That probably means in the litter, this dog was the top dog in the litter. There's a word for it, and I can't think of what it is right now. And everybody, because when they're puppies, they're so cute. Nobody corrected that excitement. Nobody corrected that vocalization that this is mine. I'm going to feed off mom first. Mom should have corrected it, but again, we don't know a lot of times if mom did her job, if the puppies were with mom long enough. We don't know if I just had again, somebody I know who fostered a pregnant dog, and it must have been her third or fourth litter because Mama wanted nothing to do with these puppies. She wasn't going to set the rules. She didn't want to feed them. We worked her through a lot of what she was showing, but she was not going to make corrections on these puppies. She just had no interest, and that happens. So as a human, when we're dealing with it, we need to step up our rules. Now you have two puppies. You have a calm one and you have a not so calm one. Rules apply the same though. Calm, confidence, consistency gets control. I placed her with older pups and I see improvement. Absolutely. Because all of a sudden she realizes her, doesn't stink. But what I'm asking is yes, it's great the dogs self-correct. They correct each other. It's a beautiful thing as long as we know how to monitor, control it. But what I'm asking is for the humans to do that. Puppies want to play, they want to bite, they want to mount, they want to do all these things. And that's fine because that's how they play with their pack mates. But I am not my puppy's pack mate. I am their pack leader. I will dictate when we play. They're not going to dictate to me. And if I have a vocal puppy, I am going to correct it. Because again, think about nature. If these dogs were born in the wild, that vocal puppy will let all the other predators know where they are. Mama's not going to set up for that. Hello, Joan from Port Charlotte, Florida. The puppy, the rest of the pack is not going to let this yippy puppy do that because it's going to let everybody know where they are, and they don't want to be found. So we need to control it. That's what leashes are for. That's what our energy is for. These tools, leash is the best training tool there is out there. It is not a walking tool. It is a training tool we happen to use for the walk, but I use it for control. So if I had a yappy puppy, I'd have it on a leash. And if it was yappy for no reason, it's probably being very vocal to be bossy because was the dominant dog of the litter. Well, guess what? Those days are over. You get vocal to tell me what to do. That'd be like my kids saying, hey, feed me now. Have a leash, boom. Remember, and also, guys, puppies, since we're talking about puppies for a second, if they're out and about, not in their crate, when they have free time outside, they should be tethered to somebody. One, they're going to get in trouble if you leave them alone. They're like little kids. Two, you can't set the rules you want without yelling and screaming. So if a puppy's running around your house and all of a sudden says, oh, look at that, the coffee table leg looks like a good chew toy. Now all of a sudden you see it, no, stop. And you're yelling and you're screaming and you're getting angry because they're chewing your coffee table leg and they're going to respond accordingly. Remember, anger is not going to control it. So by keeping the pup on a leash, tethered to me, and it could be two leashes put together, I don't care. The dog is always in my sight. If I start seeing them do something I don't agree with, I do a slight leash correction with my no or my nope or the hey or whatever discipline sound we're going to use. I do not want this to run now. Sorry, my virus protection thing came up. I hope it doesn't run during the show. By having them tethered to me, I can make my correction. And then when they stop, I can get right from turning those no's into yeses. Because if the dog is chewing the leg, until what age should a puppy wear the tether? Depends on your puppy and you. With me, because I work on certain things, I think with Zoe, she was probably 3 to 4 months old before I started allowing her to have a little bit, freedom where she didn't need to be tethered. But if you get a puppy at 8 weeks old and you start doing these things instantly, guys, it's not so hard. You're just disagreeing with a behavior you don't want. You're allowed to do that. But it's great, like I said earlier, it's great that you say no. But the thing is, you want to turn the no's into yeses because the yes is the reward. And, I'll put this caption up here as well, where is it? I think it's right there. Yeah, energy is the most important form of communication we have with our dogs. And with that, if your energy is, I am truly happy with my dog's behavior, they're going to respond to that. That's the beauty of them. You don't even have to talk. You just be happy. You're gonna see the little butts going. Courtney says, "Does this apply to older dogs as well? You'll see my vocal pup tomorrow. He's not chewing anymore, but he barks at people walking by and car doors." Yep, absolutely. The beauty of my methodology of training, which is those 4 C's, which is calm, confidence, consistency gets control, is it works on any age dog from 8 weeks old to 8 years old. It doesn't make a difference, and anything in between and older, it doesn't make a difference. Dogs communicate to us constantly. It's how we choose to listen to what they're saying and how we choose to communicate back to them what we really want. So in a case like what Courtney just said, dog barks at everybody passing the house, everybody who shuts a car door in the neighborhood, dog, and it's doing its job. It's doing its job. It's saying, hey, somebody's in our territory. I hear something. Warning, warning, Will Robinson from Lost in Space. Um, and it's okay to bark for that. Oh, the tethering definitely helps with potty training. That's the best way because you have the dog on a leash. You know it has to go. Boom, right outside with your leash, add a heel to the bathroom spot, and you start your leash training right away. Um, when a dog barks at everything outside, I will never, ever say no to that dog. Because when I say no to a dog, it's final. You're never allowed to do it. I'll go over this with you more in detail tomorrow, Courtney. I use a different sound. I say enough. Enough to me is, hey, thanks for doing your job enough. I got it from here. But it's conditioning we have to do because as far as the dog is concerned, they're doing their job. That's why dogs are like UPS men and UPS people. Excuse me, I got to remember what decade we're in. UPS people, the mail people, or the FedEx driver, or whatever, because I bark, they come. I bark, they leave their stuff, and they leave. I did my job. Yay! Look at me, I'm a hero. The barking is natural. I will never ever say no to barking. I will say no to barking at my guests in my house. That's different. But barking at sounds outside or people walking on the street or other dogs passing the house, no, I'm not going to say no. I'm going to teach them a better way to do it. I will let them bark and say, hey, good job, enough. I got it from here. I'm saying it's okay. So it's a labor of love. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. But that end of that journey to me is always the beach with the umbrella and the Mai Tai or whatever. And I'm relaxed because that's what the journey should be all about. It's a journey of pure pleasure, no matter what the issues are. I don't care if your dog is aggressive. I don't care if your dog is insecure. I don't care if your dog is scared. I don't care if your dog is happy-go-lucky goofball. If you use the 4 C's of training, the calm, confidence, consistency to get the control, it works every single time. That's why, my claim to fame is in all these years of doing it, I've been bit maybe a handful of times and only once needed stitches. Why? Because I understand what the dog is communicating to me. And I learned how to respond in their language. And their language is not what I'm doing with you guys right now. Their language is, I always do this wrong, so I hope I'm going to get it right. There it is. Energy. Boy, it looks like I got big fingers when I do that. It's about the energy we use. And that calm, confident energy changes dogs. Why, when I walk into people's homes, the dogs that normally jump on people don't jump on me? Because they read my energy. They know, whoops, this guy is not going, he's a pack leader. He's got that energy. He knows what he's talking about. Boom, no, we're not going to do it. It takes a while to understand and get into the system. You always need to have that Oprah aha moment when you're doing this. But once you get it and you see your dog change, like I said, this 10-week-old shepherd puppy I'm working, it's a beautiful thing. One of the things, I was over there Saturday, I think it was. It was eating one of the, I don't even know what type of plant it was. I hope it's a good one. I told him to Google it and check, but it was trying to eat the leaves on one of the plants. And mom and dad kept pushing the dog away from the plant, and the dog kept coming back, and the dog kept coming back, and the dog kept coming back. And I sat there and I kind of snickered. And I'm like, well, how's that going for you? And I'm like, well, this is part of training. It's annoying, but we'll get it. And I said, no, because you're pushing away because it's going to create the dog to come back every single time. It's like people that walk their dogs and hold the leash back like this actually create the dogs to go further. So what I did is I walked over to the dog. It was trying to get to the plant. I took 3 fingers. I touched it on its neck like a little bite. At the same time as the connection to my fingers were on its neck, I said, no. Actually, I said, because that's their discipline sound. And the dog didn't back away right away. I was like, whoa. Started to come back. I did that same process and it went, whoa, even more. Like, oh, this is different. And then it started going through and I just said, and it was, okay, I'm done. Didn't have to do a touch. But if I did that touch or if I did the with anything but calm confidence, dog would have went right back and ate the plant. Guys, please put in the comments. Let me know if this makes sense. This is a passion of mine to get this word out to you guys. The 4 C's of dog training. And this works with our fosters and our rescue groups. It doesn't matter the dog's past. Like Courtney asked me, does it apply to all the dogs? Yeah, dogs live in the moment, guys. Humans don't. Dogs live in the moment. It doesn't matter what happened with the dog's life yesterday, because guess what? Whatever happened yesterday, I can't fix it today. Happened already. So all I can do is move them forward. And that's by showing them the calm confidence with the consistency to get the control. That's being that pack leader they need us to be to guide them on this journey. And it doesn't matter if it's an aggression, like I said earlier, aggression, insecurity, being terrified, hyper-go-lucky, goofball excitement. That calm energy can change it. I would like to say that quick. Reality is it's not that easy, but it does work. And that's where the consistency part comes in. Because if you're calm and you're confident and you stay consistent day in, day out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, until your dog understands what you're asking them to do, they get it. And it'll be with them for life. That's why I'm able to take some of these worst case. And Bonnie, you know the dogs I worked with when I was up north. I took some of the worst case dogs. I worked with them. I probably saved over at least a couple hundred dogs from being euthanized because they were misunderstood. They were misunderstood and nobody was bothering to listen to what they were saying. And you guys can do this. I know you can. Believe me, I wouldn't put my blood, sweat, and tears into this Tuesday evening happy hour or my Saturday morning coffee to get this information out there if I didn't think you guys can do it. Because you can. That's the beauty of this methodology. It's not about learning the tools. It's not about learning it's learning how to change us to help them by reading what they're saying. I'm insecure. I'm scared. Don't force the issue. Guide them through their insecurity and their fears. If they're aggressive, most dogs that I work with that are aggressive are fearful. Well, they're trying to protect themselves. I have to accept that, but you can work them through it so they don't have to be fearful. And the same thing with the happy-go-lucky goofball. Calm energy fixes it. And it's that simple, yet it's that hard. And this is why when I walk into people's homes, like tomorrow night, my goal is tomorrow afternoon, I guess, when I walk into Courtney's home, is her dogs that normally have some of these unwanted behaviors. She may not see it when I'm there. And that's great, because when you don't see that behavior when I'm in your house, is truly the dog you have. And I love people seeing that because they sit there like, whoa, what just happened? My dog's not doing what it normally does. I walk into people's homes, dog barks at somebody for a half hour, they tell me. They bark at me for maybe 2 minutes and they're done because I don't feed into it. I don't feed into it, and I know how to disagree when they can understand how I disagree. But it's all about the 4 C's, guys. I can't stress it enough. And if we can all practice this, it works. It works. And there are some other dogs that I was in a home that continue to bark. What I should have done is put a slip leash on them and disagreed with them, because we're allowed to do that. Because if you're having people over your house and your dog is constantly barking, I wouldn't want to come over your house. It's uncomfortable. I'm talking over dogs. I don't want to do that. Not saying dogs should, not like the kids theory, kids should be seen, not heard. Dogs should be seen, they should be heard. But when enough is enough, enough is enough. And we have to communicate them in a language they understand. The biggest issue I have is I'm just using dogs that just bark at people continually while they're in the home, is mom and dad get mad, they get angry, they get frustrated, and the dog, you start yelling at the dog. And if you actually listen to your dogs, the more you yell, the louder they get, because you're barking along with them. And just instead of saying no. So we're going to change that blurb up a little bit to my wonderful trademark of no anger, no frustration, no nonsense. When we're dealing with these rescue dogs, these dogs that we're bringing in from wherever they came from, guys, you got to always look at these dogs as they know absolutely nothing. They have no clue how to survive inside our homes. So if you think about it that way, they have no idea. You don't know if they're housebroken. You don't know what their past, and even if you do know what their past is, they were abused, they were puppy mill dogs, whatever it may be. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to show you unwanted behaviors. They are not bad behaviors. An unwanted behavior is very simple. It's unwanted. They just don't know how to do it any better. So it's my job to teach. So if you try and think of it, okay, they just don't know any better. I can't get angry at them. I can't get frustrated with them, but I can take a no nonsense approach. A dog that I bring in is chewing up my couch. Well, I'm not going to get angry at it, especially if it's a rescue dog and I gave it that freedom. But when I make my correction, my no, my whatever it is, it's going to be a no nonsense approach. No means no. Why? Because I said so. Or I'll give you 5 reasons why nobody wants those, so we're not going to go there with dogs especially. But it's going to be that clear cut. No, you're not allowed to chew my throw pillows. When I see you not chewing them, we're going to turn that no into a yes real fast. But every day, if a dog chews my throw pillows, I'm going to put my throw pillows right where they can get them, because I'm going to tell them they're never allowed to even think about it. And I'll put it right there where they can get it. I'll have them on a leash. Pop. Nope. As soon as I see them trying to get it, until the point where they walk over to it, they see it, and they pretty much avoid it. Yes. Because we want to turn those into yeses. No's are great. But if you're saying no and you're not getting a yes, you are not doing proper follow through for your dog. And if you don't do the follow through, you're not training your dog. You're not going on the journey. You're leaving them hanging up at the rest area. No. And then they stop and they're waiting for something else. Oh, good. They stopped. I'm done. No. Praise, give treats, whatever. I don't care. But you want them to enjoy the journey with us. So, no, you're not allowed to chew the throw pillows. Yes, when you avoid the throw pillows. Turn the no into a yes. Guys, again, please put in the comments. Let me know if this makes sense. I see a bunch of people out there. I'm not getting a lot of comments. So, I hope this all makes sense to you. Anybody who joined me Saturday morning, I apologize. I know I ran out real abruptly Saturday. Zoe had a little bit of a stomach issue, which is better, thank God. But we take care of our animals. With that being said, guys, I'm not getting a lot of questions, so we're not going to keep you up all night, because I'm really good at keeping people up all night. It's a passion of mine. I'll keep just yapping and yapping and yapping. But if there's no other questions, we're going to wrap it up for the evening. Remember, every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we do the same format. It's a live Q&A session. So please, people, if you're not on my Facebook page, either my Back to Basics or my personal, if you're on the Remember Me Rescues Facebook page, please, please go to Back to Basics Dog Training SC, like my page, because this way, if you have comments or you have questions, after the broadcast ends, I can answer them quicker if it's on my page. And please share my Back to Basics Dog Training SC page out to all your friends and family members around the country and around the world. My ultimate goal is to see that number counter go up to the hundreds and maybe thousands. I would love to see that when I'm doing these. So every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern time, it's Saturday morning coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. I do the barking thing enough. 2 years, he does not stop. Really? When you're doing it, then incorporate. Let's set him up for. I'm sorry, Marianne. I'm assuming you're saying the barking at things outside. So what I would do is set him up for success. If he's barking at people walking on the streets or other dogs, ask a neighbor or a friend or a relative to walk by your house or with the dog or whatever. Have your dog on a leash. Have your dog on a leash. And when they see the other dog or the person walking and they start barking, let them bark a little bit. And then, boom, enough. But that's where the leash is going to help, because there's certain things that trigger it. And he barks at anything, try to find one thing you can control. These are working in controlled environments. So if it's people passing the house, and that's definitely one of the triggers, have somebody keep passing by your house and you just keep working on it for a half hour at a time. And every time after 2 or 3 barks or maybe 5 seconds worth of barking, enough. And then use the leash, guide them away. But again, with calm confidence. At this point, 2 years into this, there's got to be frustration in there. And I hate to say it that way. Yeah, inside, use a leash. Use the leash, have people walk past. If the noises are, the ice maker or whatever, that's kind of hard to mimic, record the sounds. Because I know some dogs, when they hear the ice, they start barking because they get startled or whatever. Record it. I'm sure there's a recording of ice cubes dropping somewhere in the world of YouTube. But if you're trying to correct it at this point with anger and frustration, you're going to get the opposite result. And the more you yell, the more they're going to bark. That's why, my KISS theory of training, guys, keep it simple, stupid. One discipline sound. Don't confuse matters. One discipline sound. Basic obedience is different. Enough is a basic obedience command, basically saying the same thing as no, but it's saying I'm not using no because, again, my world no is final. Don't sit there and tell a dog to sit 100 times to get it to sit, because you will get frustrated. Sit, mean it. If they don't do it, make it happen, because you're in charge. I know me. I'm a basic parent that, I ask my kids once to clean the room. The second time I tell them there's not going to be a third time. What about small dogs that bark at TV animals, real or animated? Okay, I've actually worked with that. We need to train people who interact with our dogs as well. Absolutely. I'll get to that in a second. I've worked with dogs that bark at dogs on TV, being animated or not. And I actually record those shows that have these things that trigger it. And I sit there. I'm calm. I have my dog on a leash. They see it. No, I babysat for dogs here in this apartment that did that. And, when I told the parents that, well, that doesn't happen anymore because I watch animal shows. And this dog was barking at every single animal. It didn't matter. It could be a dog, a cat, a lion, a tiger, a bear, or why, and it would bark. So I put the dog on a leash and boop. And after about, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a day, the dog got the hint. But again, when I did that was a no. You're never allowed to bark at the TV. It's a different world here. That was a no. But again, I used the 4 C's: calm, confidence, consistency, got control. Now, was he perfect after the first 5 times? No. Next day, TV went on, watching something. He barked. I said, nope. Courtney says we need to train people who interact with our dogs as well. Correct? Absolutely. You need to. This is the New Yorker in me, guys. You need to grow a set and tell people how you want them to interact with your dogs. My parents love my dogs, but they get them very excited. So I want to keep the consistency. Absolutely. So when we do start the training process, I think you're going to be happy with me after the evaluation tomorrow night. Um, if your parents live locally, let's have them at the first session. I believe in having everybody there. Let me tell them how to do it, not you, because you're their daughter. What the hell do you know? You know, uh, I get up and say enough. He loves to bark. Yes, getting up, using body language is important. Use the correct energy is important. The leash just helps you out a lot. And when again, it's going for the state of mind. That's why I like the leash, because with the state of mind, yes, you may stop the barking temporarily. Okay, if your dad's there tomorrow, I'll tell him. I'm respectful, but I'll tell him. When you do the enough with your dog, the discipline of what we're doing does not stop until there's a shift in his mind and his mind is calm. Just because he stops the barking, but if he's still intense, his mind is not where you want him to be. And that's why I kind of like the leash, because then I could sit there, okay, take the, mom told me, breathe in the roses, blow out the candles. And that centers my energy and my dogs feel it. Now I wait them out. And then once I see that switch go from something's out there, oh, okay, I'm not good. And I praise and I reward that state of mind. Because even though we're yelling and screaming at the dogs, we're kind of rewarding that state of mind we don't like. That's why it's better to keep it quiet. Use your energy to speak. Use the enough. When you see the switch, yes, give a treat. I don't care what you do. You know, treats are fine. I have no problems with that. Right, you should go look, because that's telling him, hey, I got this. He has high prey drive rescue. I did a lot of training, but the barking, just stay consistent. Work on just that. Like I said, set them up for success. Have people pass your house. And do half-hour increments. Don't try to do this too much because it's overwhelming. Definitely keep them there. Donna says the sit makes sense. I needed that. I'm bad about repeating sit. I'll change. Absolutely. Say it, mean it, do it, done. We plead and beg too much. Why? Don't do it. My dad were good. So, guys, these were some great questions. I hope you guys got some really good information and the tools to start the journey of training with your pups. Like you all know, I keep saying it is my passion to help you guys. If anybody who is not local to the South Carolina, North Carolina area wants to do some one-on-one training with me, remember, guys, I can always offer you a Zoom training. Zoom training is an economically efficient way of training because we're talking about dog psychology, so it's not necessarily important for me to be there with you, as long as you guys take what I say and do the work. It's real important. It is an economical way. And when I do a Zoom, I'm focused on your issues, not a plethora of issues like I do on my Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings. So if anybody's interested in that, please feel free to reach out to me. My phone number is above my head here. That's a great way to text me. info@backtobasicsdogtraining.com. Email me. We can always set something up if you're interested in that. With that being said, guys, we're at 45 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up for this evening. As always, thank you for inviting me into your home each and every Tuesday evening. I appreciate this will be a thing we're going to be doing moving forward. So please remember to share this with your friends and family around the country and around the world. With that being said, guys, thank you. As always, stay healthy, stay safe, God bless, and remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Have a great evening, guys. Looking forward to seeing you either next Saturday morning or next Tuesday evening. Have a great night.